now we have Jason Marsteiner in to fill in for Carrie. So we're glad to have you here, man.
Good morning. Thanks. Glad to be here.
And now we're a 2-to-2 beard ratio.
I know.
Yeah.
You guys have some good-looking beards going there.
2 to 2.
I think we can take them.
Colorado Mountain Man Survival. Tell us about why you started this and what it's all about.
Well, I started back in 2010. Originally, when I did it, was just to sell gear, but I found that really boring. And
selling T-shirts.
Selling survival gear and stuff like that. But I found that everybody that purchased stuff from me was like, "Hey, this is really cool. What do I use this stuff for?" So I started doing consulting and teaching people how to use the stuff in these survival kits that I was making. And that just kind of snowballed into what I am doing today, and which is exactly taking people out into the woods and teaching them how to survive with minimal gear, or what should you take with you when you head out there,
which is so important. I mean, because as our caller that just won the impossible question a little bit ago, just moved from Virginia, and might think, hey, we're just going to go for a hike.
Yeah, and my understanding, Colorado is growing at a rate of 10,000 people a month from out of state. And a lot of these people aren't familiar with the outdoors, and I've got a lot of followers from all over the country, all over the world, in fact, that just want to get outside. And with COVID, that really ramped up the amount of people that want to go outside.
So let's just say that Guy Gerton is new to camping and hiking and getting out in the backcountry.
Say I am.
You do a lot of backcountry?
Oh, back in the day, yeah. Well, not backcountry, but camping.
All right, all right. Well, let's say Guy's going to go out and do a little backcountry fun. So a couple things that he should take with him in his backpack. What do you think?
Well, first off, he needs to know that the rule number 1 of survival is don't die.
Oh,
that's just how it is. But really, we talk about 5 essential items that you should take with you. Obviously, these are bare minimum. We call them the 5 C's of survival. For me, my number 1 tool is always my cutting tool, my knife.
Okay, right.
Number 2 is cover, so some sort of shelter. It can be a rain poncho, it can be a tarp, whatever. If bad weather rolls in, you need something to get underneath. But you cover also will be the proper clothing that you're wearing out there. Bring a jacket with you. In Colorado, it doesn't matter if it's July. Bring a jacket. I've seen snow in the middle of July in Colorado. So we got cutting tool, cover. Next is combustible, something to start a fire with. Whether that's a lighter or a ferro rod or a flint or steel or a flamethrower, it doesn't matter.
Bring your flamethrower, guy. That'll take care of it.
Yeah,
but we need something to be able to start a fire with, and you need to have the skills to be proficient at starting the fire and maintaining a fire.
I was going to say maintaining is very important.
It is
as well.
very, very, very important. And a lot of people take their fire making skills for granted. I get people that, I got a lighter, I can start a fire in my fireplace, therefore out in the woods, no problem.
Right.
Well, you're using different materials. You're having to harvest them from the outdoors around you. A lot of people don't know. They just walk around and pick up the sticks on the ground, which are sitting basically in water,
right?
Or a damp environment, and
you're going to get real frustrated real quick.
Real quick. Okay, so the 4th item is cordage, so some sort of rope. I suggest paracord because it's 550 paracord. It's rated to hold 550 pounds. It's got 7 strands inside of it. You can pull it out. You can use it for fishing line or small gear or medical purposes. There's a lot of different reasons.
And they have those bracelets you can wear that are a long cord if you pull it all apart.
And a lot of people are like, cool, I got this cool survival bracelet.
Yeah.
I'm good. That's all I need, right?
But I don't know how to use it.
I don't know how to use it wrong. Those survival bracelets only go so far. I feel that, before I get into that, the last thing is a container. So something to carry water and cook in. But we'll go back to that survival core bracelet. I believe my feeling is that bracelet is more of a psychological tool. Because, when you get lost, a lot of people panic and they just run and keep going deeper and deeper into the forest, and they get themselves in a bad situation. Their mind's going all over the place. How do I rescue myself? If they realize they got that bracelet on their wrist, now they're like, what do I have? What can I do? And they sit down and they stop and they think, and those bracelets take a time to unravel, so that calms them down. They sit there and unravel that bracelet, and it puts them in the proper mindset to chill out
makes sense.
and think about your situation.
Start to think rationally instead of through panic.
Yeah,
Wow.
and a lot of people just panic when
So
they're
you
out
think that's one of the biggest things that get people in trouble is the panic?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. People just, I don't know, they get out there and something goes wrong and they don't know how to handle the situation. I think that's kind of why I'm pretty good at what I do is I'm really pretty calm. If I had to bring up my energy level for you guys here on the radio show.
So this is you amped up, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, I enjoy what I do. When I'm out in the woods, I'm really enjoying what I do. But before I became a survival instructor, a lot of people thought I was military. I have a military background. I'm not. I just grew up in the mountains. The stuff that people are calling prepping and survival and all that was just a way of life.
Right.
But for 18 years before I became a survival instructor, I worked IT. I was a computer geek.
Oh, are you kidding?
Right. So, and it really takes a lot of people off guard, but that's what makes me approachable to the majority of the population is I can relate to people that work in corporate America. 90% of my clients are from corporate America, whether they're doctors or they're lawyers or they're from the financial industry.
Incredibly proficient in that industry.
Right.
But
Yeah.
when they get outdoors.
Fortunately, I know both worlds because I grew up in the mountains. I grew up around a lot of vets, so I kind of talk like veterans. A good chunk of my clients are vets, but I've got that corporate America background, and I've got the vet lingo. Right. My father was in the Air Force. A lot of his friends were military of some sort, so I grew up around those guys. And then IT, when I worked in IT, a lot of my friends in IT were also vets. So I just picked up their stuff, and I'd go out with them on weekends and learn some of their skills. But because my background growing up in the mountains, all that stuff was just natural to me.
Now, all these items you mentioned, you can put them in a backpack, right?
Yeah, I mean,
there's something you can carry on your body.
Yeah, you could carry it in a fanny pack. A tactical waist belt.
Yeah, not a fanny pack.
But yeah, you can. I mean, it's less than 5 pounds worth of gear, really.
A tactical waist
I'm going to remember that. This is my tactical waist belt. I have a couple of tactical waist belts.
It's neon, bro.
That's great.
Well, and one other thing too, you mentioned veterans. So can you help them battling stresses and
we don't have a specific program for people with PTSD, but I do get a fair amount of guys out there or soldiers, vets out there around the campfire, and they just feel you can tell they're relaxed.
Yeah,
there's nothing going on.
I think that the thing that I like, Jason, is when you're in the backcountry, all that IT stuff goes away.
All of it.
The doctor stuff goes away. And you should be focused on just surviving.
Yeah.
Just the basics of like enjoying your environment, soaking it up. I don't take a lot of pictures and post them on Facebook because I figure, my thing is I worked hard to get here to this spot.
Right.
This is for me and not for somebody sitting on their couch going, ooh, look at that beautiful view. I don't really post all that stuff on Facebook so much. But I think you're right. It's a cleansing of your mind when you're out in the backcountry in more ways than one. But for me, I'm focused on just survive. Like I'll go out in a blizzard and hike in I love it. I love a blizzard.
Well,
but you have to be You make a mistake, it could get really raunchy. So Jason Marsteiner is our guest today, Colorado Mountain Man Survival and the Survival University. Now, folks what is your course like?
At present, we have, I think, 28 different classes on our website, which is thesurvivaluniversity.com for anybody that's interested. And then we run those multiple times. So we have a total of about 40 different classes throughout the summer coming up, starting in about May. But it just depends. And a lot of people freak out. I don't know if I want to go take a survival class. Well, we're not in a survival situation unless you're taking one of the advanced classes, but you're still in a controlled environment. It's not survival. It's survival training. Okay. There's a huge difference between the two. Yeah. And I've got anything from like a 1-day plant walk to a 50-day class, which is a total immersive class.
Very cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Shall we get a caller?
classes,
We got a caller.
yeah, go ahead.
We'll take a caller here.
It looks like he
Did
just
they
went
go
away. Yeah, it was actually Doc.
No. Oh, well. Okay, Doc. Well, he can wait.
Sorry, Doc. We love you.
Sorry.
Well, fantastic. So before we get into Sports Guy with our sports report, what do you think the biggest, or if you want to think about this for a second, maybe we could do sports and then give you a second to think about it. What is the biggest mistake that people make when they go out, when they venture out on their trip?
The biggest.
Weekend warrior out there going to climb a mountain, or just, you don't have to climb a mountain, just take a fishing trip or wherever you find yourself in the backcountry. We'll talk about the biggest mistake with Jason after a Sports Guy gives us the latest on sports.
Here we go. Brought to you by Cornerstone Roofing. Yeah, it's the Olymp, Pueblo.
All right, Jason Marsteiner is with us. We're talking survival, and I'm going to ask you to answer that question about the biggest mistake people make when they head out to the backcountry. We had a listener text in with another crucial piece of gear, but this is something you kind of have to know how to use. It seems simple, and it seems like old school because you got your phone with your GPS and all that, but a compass. Compass.
That's in the next group of 5 things, but those first 5 things are the essentials.
Okay.
That's going to get you through the night or a couple nights in case something's going wrong. So that prepares you to spend the night. A compass really doesn't prepare you to spend the night.
True.
But it is absolutely a key item. But just having a compass doesn't really help you. You need to know how to use it. We do have a navigation class that we teach. I bring, so the Survival University, what that is, well, I'll just say I am Colorado Mountain Man Survival.
All right.
When I'm out running classes, that's me, Colorado Mountain Man Survival. I bring in people from all over the country that are experts in their fields. We hate being called experts, really, but we're really good at what we do. So I bring in a retired ranger of 22 years that taught navigation at ranger school. So he's one, he's a good, he knows what he's doing. So that's what I do is I go out, when I'm not teaching classes, I go out and find people that are really good at something that people need to learn, and I bring them to us. That's why I created the Survival University. But Matt Boger comes in from Michigan. He used to be local to Colorado, but once he retired, he moved out there. And he 22-year ranger, been retired for a couple years. Wow. And he can teach you how to use map and compass. And when he's done with you, you can find a tree in a forest full of trees.
Nice.
He's really pretty good at what he does.
I love compass skills. It's a, like I said, it's a simple little tool, but it does so much.
Right.
But if you don't know how to use it, and you just know that north is that way.
Yeah. I mean, you can figure out north is that way with a stick and a rock.
Yeah.
Right. And we teach people how to do that. But, a map and compass will really dial you in, and you'll be able to find that lake or that rock formation or that road crossing or whatever it is. You're not looking for a tree in a forest full of trees. You're looking for a big formation somewhere. And that's what he,
All right. So the biggest mistake people make when they head out.
I'm going to go with 2 big mistakes. And they're both kind of psychological, I think. Number 1 is failure to prepare. And number 2 is ego. Ego. So a lot of people think, they're good at something, or they are good at something, but they haven't assessed what could go wrong. And when something does go wrong, they don't know what to do. And you see it happen all the time. Such and such professional, whatever, went out and something happened and they never made it home.
Yeah, right.
So they either, what do we call it? Summit fever. And summit fever you can relate summit fever to any activity. It doesn't necessarily have to be climbing the top of a mountain.
Right. I have to catch that fish.
I'm
not leaving here without the fish.
Right. And
I know
there's a lightning storm
running in.
Right.
But I got to catch this fish. So that's good. That's really good stuff. And so tell everybody how they get in touch with you.
So the best way is through the Survival University webpage. Again, that's www.thesurvivaluniversity.com. My contact information's on there. You can get me on Facebook through Colorado Mountain Man Survival. Really, if you are in Colorado and really anywhere, you search for Colorado Survival, I'm going to be top of the list on Google searches.
Awesome.
And it's taken me, it started in 2010, so it's taken me 12 years of throwing my face out there to get me to this level. But yeah, survivaluniversity.com is the best way to contact me. It's got our full class calendar. It's got contact information. It's got, it's not just a website to contact me. We do have information out there for people. So if they can't afford to come out to take my classes or don't have the time, I've got YouTube links. I've got blogs. I got stuff where people can just sit there and learn.
Soak it up.
Yeah, and soak it up. And now, nothing beats hands-on training, hands-on. You know, if you can't come out to me or somebody in your area that's teaching this, don't just read it. Don't just watch a video on it. Go out there and do it and practice it over and over and over again until you become proficient at it. Because you're just not going to grasp what happens until you actually do it yourself. Everything on YouTube takes less than 15 minutes. You know, really, in reality, it took that person that you saw on YouTube, it took them hours, if not days, to produce what they're showing you, and they don't show you all the errors and the failures that they had along the way.
Right.
And you'll realize that when you try it. And there's nothing wrong with failure. I tell my students that you learn more from your failures than you do from your successes, so long as you are, in fact, learning from them and you're not putting yourself in a real dangerous situation.
Well, hey, man, we could talk the whole next hour about this, but thanks for joining us today. Appreciate what you do.
It's been an hour already.
Wow. Feels like, right? We will take a little break here. We're way behind, but this has been great info, and I would love to maybe come out and join you sometime.
Yeah, I'd love to have you. Come on up.
Come on.
Oh,
let's do
man.
it. All right, there we are. Be safe when you're out in the backcountry because we want you to come back alive and with all your parts.
Digits.
Yeah, with all your parts.
Yeah.
So, good to have you, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, the morning routine continues.
We are Colorado's most respected.